It's Dr. Marissa here. Your landing page for hashtag take a breath. We may have to take several breaths today. Hashtag shut the worry up. So, you know how I love it when people cry because it shows that their heart's open. And tears are the disinfectant that keep our hearts soft. Those of you who read my post the last couple of days know that I'm super sad. And whether it's feeling what's going around, try not to watch because it's just, looting, which is bringing out the worst in people, and then curfew and violence and death and then my heart goes out to George Floyd and his family. And I guess it came in meditation to me today, where some of this sadness is coming from. And because it's happened before. I mean, people who have been discriminated against, and I think on Sunday, my big brother Michael Bernard Beckwith, when he was speaking, it was like that one point stuck with me where it's no longer a theory that there's unfair treatment, that's no one's making it up, and it's real, and it's kind of like, and I absolutely don't know what it feels like, so let me say that right now, to live with that kind of discrimination. I know some, but not what people are crying about right now, what people are mad about right now. It's almost like, because I'm one of the 7 out of 10 who grew up with childhood trauma, and psychologists will tell you, myself included, that there's a moment where sometimes people think I made it up. When you're older, it's like it didn't really happen. And the moment that there's proof, there's this overwhelming sense of sadness. Like, oh my God, I really was hurt. And I think I'm guessing, I don't know, but maybe some of the sadness, the overwhelming sadness, and the overwhelming anger could be partly that there's an acknowledgement. And it's unfair and it's not right. And I'm sad for it. And instead of doing another watch party and sort of crying on the side, I thought, you know what? I wasn't supposed to do this longer than a week when COVID first started, and now it's day 63, and you keep pulling me back, and I keep saying to myself, is this even, why am I doing this? Does it help at all? And I'm grateful whenever I ask the question, the friendly universe answers. And this morning I was just saying, before I went into meditation, maybe I should just stop doing this. And then I get a message from Nova Scotia, from Sandra and Nate's Lighthouse, saying, Thank you. And so I'm live. I'm waterfalling. Tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. So I'm a walking softie this morning, as I have been for the last few days. The good news is that emotion leads to writing, and so I've never written quite so much as I have during COVID season. But anyways, for those of you who are wondering who this blubbering person is, I'm Dr. Marissa, and I'm glad you found me if you're new, and if you're not, you know who I am. My mission is to be a beneficial presence on the planet. And I'm an organizational psychologist by education, but my business is hope and happiness. And everything that I do is to try, first and foremost for myself, to get me to stay there. And it's not easy these days. I'm like known #positively opinionated. And it's a struggle these days to find that anchor point. But I am grateful that I have these very public things that I get to do where I am forced to just grab myself and find the discipline, find the blisscipline. So without further ado, let's do a little balanced Tai Chi Qong. It's a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. And God knows, right now, I really, really want to feel the peace in the midst of all this chaos. And if you want to, don't sit. Stand up. Get ready to do a little moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. All right. We're going to breathe in through the nose and release all the stories and the drama. Breathing in through the nose. And soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. I promise if you take the breath, you will feel better. And one last deep breath in. Connecting with me through chi, eternal energy, and some tears. And release. And now moving the body with the breath. And release. I see a heart from Eva. And release. In. I don't think I've done the whole practice crying. It's something new. And in. We're just preparing to slow dance with a friendly universe using forms. There's 108 forms in traditional Yang school short form Tai Chi. We're only doing 18 today. Actually, we're not even doing 18. I took the 108 along with some Qigong forms and created this practice for the impatient American. And release. Into, opening, and release. You're going to open your heart and release. Right now, it's really, really easy to want to close yourself off from the anger. Because of my childhood trauma, anger triggers me, and I do just about everything to avoid any situations with anger. And protesting is a positive, productive way of saying enough is enough, #enough. It's showing solidarity, it's showing support. And I am marching, maybe not outside, but inside, as I support that Black lives do matter, and that these systems that are obviously not working need to come down. Breathing in and moving not with Li. So the part that is not helpful is the personal power, brute force. I'm going to go and I'm going to hurt somebody and I'm going to, loot and shoot at cops and I'm going to, do all those things to show how angry I am. That is Li. Li is personal power, brute force, and it will not work. It will only hurt ourselves and others. So I'm begging you to take that breath and move into Qi again. Qi is the flow of life. And it's not okay to use hate to hate. It just isn't. So if you're part of the group that is not Black Lives Matter, but is using this situation to get a sweatshirt or something stupid like that, please stop. Breathe in. Moving with Qi. And release. And back to center. Breathing in, prepare, balance, weight on the left, taking the right foot, stepping forward, and opening doors. Using the power of the breath and the form to open the door, purposefully connecting with a friendly universe. Hi, Timothy Taylor. I can't read what you're saying, but I know it's supportive. Thank you for joining. I know I said I was only going to do this for a week and then a month. So now we're into month 2, 3. Oh well. Breathe in. I was just saying, I guess we don't need to do this because quarantine looks like it's going to be over. So much for that. And release. But everything happens for our best and divine good. I choose to believe that. Even now, especially now. So we're pushing hands is the traditional name of this form. You may have seen Robert De Niro doing this at the beginning of the movie The Intern. I did not teach him. I wouldn't have minded. And release. We're opening a door to a friendly universe, breathing in through the nose and release through the mouth. And for those of you who feel like you're alone, every breath that you take proves that you're connected to each other. We're all connected. And release. And back to center. Breathing in, prepare, balance. Weight on the other side, taking the left foot, moving and opening the other door. Breathe in. And release. See, I feel better already. I love it when I can do something that I actually teach and feel better. Because that's what I want for you. I really want everybody to feel better. It's not that I don't want you to feel bad. As you can see, I can feel bad. I can feel sad. But then on the other side of it is joy and hope and peace and all the things that we want. We have to really work right now to consciously open a door and find the good. FTG, find the good, find the good, find the good. There's so much that isn't good right now. It's going to really require some deep digging. I was so grateful to find all those beautiful pictures of cops who, you know, were not the cop that killed George Floyd or the 3 that stood by, but were cops that are cops. I mean, police in general are not bad people. And so, again, balance, perspective, find the good, and one more time. And release. Beautiful. Back to center. Breathing in, prepare, balance, weight on the left. I need this one, the ball form, stepping to the right, taking your arms above and below your head. So your head's in the middle. Breathe in, gently, moving feet and ankles and hips and knees to the right. Breathe in, turn the ball, and release. The ball form helps us widen our perspective. Breathe in, turn the ball, and release. Widening our perspective right now is a skill. We don't even need media to be a weapon of mass distraction. All the things that are reported are happening. And it's not pretty. I would absolutely recommend not using all the reporting of looting and watching destruction. There's nothing, it's like watching a car chase. It's a waste of your time. It's a focus on the worst people can do. We know it's happening. Small businesses were hurting so badly with COVID, and now they have to board themselves up to stay alive. That's tragic. So by continuing to fuel what you're seeing is not helpful. So let's take a breath and send out comfort and resilience to all those who right now are hurting financially, and there's a lot of us. But I know it's going to be okay. How do I know? I choose to know. I choose to know because hopelessness and helplessness are the worst kinds of energy, the worst kind of vibration to have right now, because we just continue to bring things down. So this practice and my writing, I'm hoping that you're sharing it. I want desperately for all that's coming out of the pain to serve as alchemy, right? Because pain in life is mandatory, but suffering is optional. Let's do what we can. Protest, absolutely. And then vote, and then do research. Look at the companies that have discriminatory practice. Look at the companies that don't. Let's reward them. Use your attention to make the changes. Not just sit in front of the TV and shake your head and say, is the world going to hell in a handbasket? For those of you who haven't read that, that's my latest combination of a colloquialism and the writings that I have from my heart. And release. And back to center. Breathing in, prepare balance. Let's do polished table. God knows, really need it right now. Breathing in, weight on the left, taking the right foot, stepping diagonal. We're going to take our hands and make like a plate or a rag. We're going to bring it down to heart chakra. Breathing in. And we're going to polish the table of our lives. There's so much debris on the table of life right now. There's so much anger. There's so much sadness. There's so much despair and anxiety. I feel it. I'm very obviously sensitive, so I can feel all of that energy outside and then have my own. So if you're feeling off lately, that's, there's nothing wrong with you. Like with the collective energy of what's going on, it is upsetting, downsetting, upsetting. So it is really important that we learn practices and disciplines to center ourselves right now. And thank God you all are here. You know that this practice works. So grateful. And, at this point, if you want a download of it, I'm just giving these out for free just because I need to feel like people have tools. So this is a download on my website. Just go to drmarissa.life and put in free power chi, and then you can, I would love to see watch parties and people, doing this everywhere, because it's just a symbol of taking responsibility to center and balance yourself in the midst of all this nuttiness. Breathe in and release. And before anybody criticizes me for not being empathetic or not, being angry, I am too. But I know that if I get swept up in that, I'm not any good. I have to be in the middle of my middle to be the most helpful. So I'm hoping that everyone understands that. Breathe in, because I've been invited to, you know, a lot of activism right now because of my role, and the best activist I can be is to be an activist for everyone on their behalf, to stay in love, to stay in the center, not in acceptance, but just stay in your center, so your creative points on what to do next are not warped by bitterness, warped by violence. And release. Hate leads to hate. Doesn't matter who you're hating, it's still hate. Breathe in and release. We're polishing the table. We're releasing all those things that we have no control over. And God knows there's a lot we have no control over right now. Curfew, Coast Guard, National Guard, quarantine, virus, second wave, George Floyd, Black Lives Matter. Now, we have some control over where we focus and what we're saying. So in this time, be really, really cognizant. Those 3 questions that Dr. David Simon says. Is it kind? Is it true? And is it necessary? If not, shut the front door. So right now is what you're posting, is what you're saying, is what you're ranting about in the spirit of loving change, in the spirit of balance, in the spirit of peace. You can be a peaceful activist. Breathe in and release. Beautiful. And holding here, breathe in. We're going to move to the other side and polish the other table. We're going to move our hands counterclockwise. This is one of my favorite parts of this practice, because after we polish, we look down. And I'm just appealing to every single person who is so angry that they can't see straight. And so their anger's coming out sideways. I want you to look down and see who you really are, who we all really are on this planet right now. We are humankind, and we have to change the systems. Absolutely. We have to make sure that George Floyd's death is not in vain. Absolutely. But the looting and the terrorizing and the instigating and the everyone turning against everyone else based on the color of skin is so not who we are. Because when I look down and I see what Buddha calls our original face, I see who you really are. I see you. We are all magnificent, precious children of a friendly universe. We're love, we're hope, we're generosity, we're kindness, we're caring, we're fair. Tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. But I have to blow my nose. Let's do what we can, but stay in the middle of who we are. Yes? And one more time. Yeah. And back to center. All right. It's about that time. Watch it. Yes, it's 10:27. So we're going to end the practice for today. This is the waterfall version, the waterfall episode of hashtag take a breath and hashtag shut the worry up. Right hand up. This is the traditional fighting hand in Tai Chi. We're going to close the fighting hand to show you come in peace, to show I come in peace. We're going to hold the piece like this, so it's like an A. We're going to bring it down to heart chakra. And we're just going to do a little bow. This is my Chinese namaste. We say, xie xie, thank you for sharing your energy with me. And then we face somewhere that symbolizes a friendly universe. That's my ocean of abundance. And I say, xie xie, thank you for sharing your energy with me. We're still alive, folks. The planets didn't crash together yesterday, but let's go outside, xie xie, and see what's going on. All right. Okay. Good morning, Marissa. Good morning, Timothy Taylor. Good morning, Kyle, Joseph, and Eva. So wonderful to see all of you. Give myself a minute here. I'm so vain, I want to see how bad my black eyeliner looks before I face the camera again. Thanks for being there to provide help to others. Aw, thanks, Timothy. Hope I feel better. Yeah, I hope I do. And at the same time, it's okay to not feel happy 100% of the time. You know, that's my deal. I don't want you to be happy 100% of the time, because if you are, you're dead. So this is definitely in my 12%. Going through a dark night of the soul, and it's okay. And if you're feeling emotional, that's okay. I think we're all like one raw nerve right now on the outside between COVID and quarantine, and now the protests and the riots. The riots, not the protests. The protests are fine. Peaceful protest is our right as Americans, and it's a beautiful thing. The riots and the looting is not okay. So let's not get the two confused. Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with misguided youth or instigators or the people who really are taking advantage of the situation to excuse really bad behavior. So let's be really clear, because when we're teaching our kids what's going on, you can shake your head at the looting, and you can shake your head at what's going on. We're doing headlines to heartlines right now, if you haven't noticed. And you just take your heart and you say to your child, darling, this is a reaction to some needed change. We've had an unfair system for a long time now, and it led to the tragic death of many people, and the latest is George Floyd. And so the people are upset, as they should be, at a system that would kill someone as beautiful as he was. I'm just learning some of the things. If anybody knows people who've had interaction with him, before, you know my tool on Circle of Life, you want to remember them whole. So I'm not interested in arguing on the air, on my show, I'm not interested in talking about the rioting. I am interested about remembering George Floyd. So if you have a connection there, let me know, and we'll have a show around that. Peace in and peace out to a couple people. I'm at my friend limit again, and so I went looking to try to kill people off. And so I just started writing and asking how you know me and where you met me, and I ended up like going to 50 people, and I couldn't kill anybody because they all were so kind and like, oh, I met you, like Jacob's like, oh, I met you on an airplane, and I've been following you and enjoying it, and it's like, oh, that's so much. So I'm having trouble. So hopefully someone's tired of me inviting them and will finally, unfriend me so I can make some room to the long list of hundreds. So I'm grateful, and it does make me feel special. But I'm glad that most of you found me on Dr. Marissa, which has no limit, and stay in your heart. You don't have to get swept up in the craziness. You can just take that breath
and find the center and feel sad, and I feel better already because I was able to release very publicly some sadness. But hopefully it's a guide, not a guide. It's an example that you can be sad and still find your center. You can be sad and feel the feelings, and feelings just are, and this too shall pass. And at the same time, it's super important to get in touch with who you are, exactly as you are, which is an emotional, beautiful being. And for those of you who don't like crying, hate it, you know, when you tear up, or are tired of when people say to you, you're so-sensitive. I got told that my entire life. And I used to bristle with it. And now I'm happy when people say you're so emotional, because it means it's 100% correlated to creativity. So I'm a very creative being, and I'm proud of it, and I hope you are too. All right. Let's see, noon today. I went through my best of show series, and I really did not want to be another place where people are angry at each other or just talking about things that you cannot control. So I went back through my archives, and I found a great interview with Ron Brown. And some of you who are football fans, he played for the Rams, the Raiders, sorry. He was an Olympian, and I met him at a fundraiser several years back, and he came on my show. And we did talk a little about social inequity. So that's going to be on at noon. I'll do a watch party, so come join me at noon. And we'll continue this landing page where we can keep a high watch and a loving watch on what's happening without getting swept away in the anger and hostility. Yes? Yes. All right. So that's today at noon. What else? I think that's it. So I want you to have the best day ever. I'll see you at noon. Oh, did I do my, well, I'll do the dip first. Those of you who know, okay, if you're afraid of heights, don't look. So that's 11 stories down. Did you guys see my sunset pictures yesterday? Unbelievable. So that's Long Beach. All right. Peace in, peace out. I mean, really, peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. I'm counting on you. Have the best day ever.